Deborah, welcome to the program. Good to have you with us. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. Great to be with you.
Well, I can already tell she has a little southern Texas twang there. I'm already feeling the Lone Starism coming from you. And after looking at your website all decked out in Texas red and blue and stars, it's all looking pretty good, Deborah. Are you a native? Let's start out with the bio. Are you a native of Texas?
I am, about 6 generations. A little bit of Bohemian blood, a little bit of German blood, all Texas.
What made you decide to run to be the next governor? Many conservatives out there feel that Governor Perry is Rick Perry's a really conservative guy. I won't touch Kay Bailey Hutchinson because we've already discussed that here on this show, and she supported the nomination of Justice Tupperware, as I call her, Harriet Miers. That's all I really need to know about a Governor Hutchinson. So why did you decide to challenge Governor Perry?
Well, Perry is a great talker, but he has not walked his ideology since he got into office, and it has gotten farther and farther away from limited government principles. Under his leadership, we almost ceded a big chunk of Texas to foreign interests. We have seen aggressive use of and growth of eminent domain authority in our state. We've seen a governor who thinks that he needs to usurp parental rights every time parents and families might choose to raise their family in a little bit different manner than what he deems appropriate. He thought he needed to mandate for all Texas girls age 11 that they have a vaccine. He just doesn't understand the proper role of government, and it becomes more and more clear every year. In the wake of the tragic shooting at Fort Hood, his answer is, well, we'll provide additional funding for psychological counseling. Those are not the answers. The answers are let people protect themselves, let people own their own property, protect those things, protect my right to defend my family, raise my family, and keep the fruit of my labor. That's the role of government. Otherwise, leave me alone. He doesn't get that.
I'm moving to Texas, and I'm voting for Medina. When is this election?
March the 2nd, which is, ironically, Texas Independence Day.
I know this. I know. I'm steeped into. I know all about San Jacinto Day. Believe me, I'm a fan. I live right next door in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, Deborah, you're my escape route when Obama comes to get me.
Well, we welcome you here. We have lots of opportunity in Texas. The Texas economy, when we get a governor who will draw the line in the sand and say not one more inch, Washington, D.C., we are not taking one more federal mandate. We're not taking one more directive. I don't care how many carrots you put out in front of us and tell us we have to. If it's not within the strict enumerated powers delegated to you in the Constitution, you're not getting another inch. When we take that stand, when we recognize the proper role of government, the Texas economy is going to gin like an engine you haven't seen running in a long time in this country. Freedom is popular. People will come. We will be prosperous, and we will be free.
Wow. Debra Medina, candidate for governor, is on the line with us in the great state of Texas. The website is Medina for Texas, MEDINAFORTEXAS. It's up on our website at MikeChurch.com. It'll be on our Twitter and our Facebook page. Deborah has her own versions of both as well. Let me get back to something that that's near and dear to my heart and you just touched on, and that is the Constitution. And I have read your brilliant essay, let me tell you, brilliant essay on state sovereignty. And I'm going to take you at your word that as governor, you would actually stand up for what you just said. Do you have any hope, though, that the legislature, even if you say, look, I don't want any money for No Child Gets an Education, I do not want the Clean Air Act mandates anymore, we'll manage our own Americans with disabilities, we have Texans with disabilities, we don't want any of this, you don't have the enumerated power to do it, we're not going to let you do it anymore. Do you think that the Texas legislature, and I know some of these guys, Brandon Creighton comes to mind as one of the guys that we've had on this show, do you think that the legislature is in the mood to actually make Texas as George Mason once said, the beau ideal of American states and American politics in a manner that you're describing?
I think they're going to get in that mood because the grassroots is so united in that vein. I believe I'm having discussions now, and you say, will I govern? I believe I already am governing in that I issued a call to action on Sunday to say, okay, Washington is going to shove this nationalized health care plan down our throat. Texas has got to rally and muster the troops and begin the fight today. We've got to encourage our Attorney General to start doing the legal research, to start writing the brief, so that when the Senate passes whatever version they pass and the President signs it, we've got a brief ready to file calling for an injunction prohibiting the IRS from taking tax dollars. That money starts to come out in January of 2010. Meanwhile, we need to be working with our state reps and state senators in Texas to say, hey, boys and girls, start drafting some legislation here. We need a special session in Texas. We want this thing nullified. Let's start working on that. We had a conference call last night with about 15 or 20 different grassroots activists, Tea Party groups, 912 groups, and other groups around the great state of Texas. They are mustering quickly to pull together the material that we need. We've got to give our Attorney General as much cause of action as we can, so that we don't have a frivolous lawsuit, so that we prevail in the federal court to stop this from reaching Texas. But we can't wait till the next legislative session. The governor's saying, well, we'll tell those people in Washington to, we need to yell at them louder. We need to holler at them more.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works exactly.
Yeah, right.
No, Texas needs to. We need to rally. We need to rally. We need to put the legislation together. We need to get that legislation drafted. The debate can be being held. Sometimes legislatures waste tax dollars by waiting till they get to the State House to have the debate. We need to start crafting that legislation today. We've got grassroots activists and lots of wisdom out here that is coming to the table to say, okay, what does that language need to look like? We're looking at other states. We believe that there are a number of other states that may actually have a little more conservative legislature than we do in Texas. Unfortunately, we lost some seats, and we haven't had the bully pulpit being used, if you will, to champion this constitutional republic. When we have someone that I hope you can hear the passion in my voice, when we have someone that gives a flip about what's happening to us, that's willing to fight for it, we'll see that kind of momentum that you're questioning come out of the Texas legislature. Yes, I believe we will. I think everybody is hungry for the kind of leadership that our founders exhibited, and I am in a place, a mantle's been placed on my shoulder. I'm praying that I will carry it well, that I won't stumble, and that I will represent Texas to stop this destruction that is coming out of Washington, D.C.